That's what a biological warfare does. It directly affects the health of people, and I think this will be the main warfare methodology if required for for the upcoming world war, if it will be on water or something. So hello, my fellow archers. Here at ArcNet, we like to delve deep into architectural curiosities, and today I would like to mention pandemic architecture and how architecture in general can help in that aspect. So let's just jump right into this presentation which I prepared. So as you can see, this is a very famous picture. I think taken. This picture was taken from a competition entry. Uh, Competition was named "Creativity for New Hygienism," and how a bubble can be created, segregating people, or a kind of barrier can be created between people for safe public interactions. So let's jump right into the presentation of pandemic architecture. What is pandemic architecture? In today's largely urban and interconnected world, infectious diseases outbreak and other public health emergencies pose a real threat to large cities. And yes, it does, because people are not suspecting few aspects of nature that can directly impose a threat on their livelihood. Such infectious diseases or outbreak just uh, breaks the entire chain in an unexpected manner, and it can create chaos. So pandemic realities address the spatial configuration, modes of living, and notion of the human body engendered by disruptive public health crisis such as COVID-19 outbreak. So yeah, 16 square grid market by Shift Architecture Urbanism. It is this is a really nice social distancing kind of system that we can create in public market areas, where a proper distance is created between individuals by providing some kind of markers or signages. In this case, I think they just try to create markers using tape or using some kind of signs. Like this 16 grid is created, and in each individual grid only one person can move, so that will create sufficient social distance amongst people. So in a marketplace it is really required, where you are not even having any idea, because anyone can approach a market. We are highly exposed in a market space to get infected, and this is a really good initiative by Shift Architecture. So I really like this concept that they try to put up, where there are segregation. They created a kind of system where there is single entrance, exits are separated from the entrances, and the routes are also segregated. For example, there is a row of orders. If a person need to order from groceries or something, they can shift their orientation, and they can either go towards left and then exit from the left, or go towards right and then exit from there. So it creates a proper stream of flow which helps individual identify and also locate very easily. So let's read a little bit about it. Social grid market. The traditional open air fresh produce markets have long been an important part of the Netherlands, and it is a very important part in everywhere. It is really an important part everywhere. So the architect's hyperlocal micro market proposal would preserve access to open air markets for basic food needs, while maintaining social distancing, with a one person per cell policy in the markets. 16 square grid setup constructed from flexible and mobile units. Each market would have one entrance and two exits. So this really is a nice proposal. I have seen few other proposals about the social, regarding the social distancing, like it can be created in a public area. For example, this project where tape as pandemic architecture element, in Singapore, I think these OAT steps have been taped at a particular distance. I think around this seems to be 6 feet of distance between the seating. So people can identify what is the best social distance they can maintain while using a public space like that. And this really creates a very hygienic practice in a social area while not disrupting the day-to-day activities. Such a cheap material like tape can also help create such an interesting option. There are few there are few crappy designs as well. This is also a very simple solution where 6 feet distance is created using these chalk marks. As you can see in this picture as well, a circle of a diameter is created, and the radius might be of about 3 to 4 feet. So a circle of a particular diameter is created, and that can be we can play with different materials, like it can be rubber tiles, it can also be solid concrete. But I think a good ideology can be inflated plastic rings, which can create a mobile social distance alarm kind of unit, in which an individual can wear it. It can create a ring, a distance, and each and everyone in their via using their peripheral vision can identify the proper distance they should maintain. Because in Indian context, people really don't follow proximity criterias, the how much distance a person should maintain, and strangers really get very close to one another, and we really require something which can segregate or create a peripheral identity where people can get cautious and maintain social distancing. So let's get to the next slide. The shipping container care pods. It is designed by Carlo Ratti Associates with Italo Rota, etc. Yeah, I like this project because of its portability aspects. It is very easy to make. It is modular units, and they are using shipping containers. This makes a modular hospitable unit where 2 patients can be housed. They can be treated very easily, and we can tessellate it, or we can multiply these units and create a huge hospitable space which is confined, creating a negative air pressure within that module, and also keeping a hygienic condition amongst the patients. So this is a cross section of all the equipments which are installed within this container, and they have also linked it with the inflatable openings, and there are openings over here. The best part about this project is this is entirely prefabricated, so there is no manual labor required on site for construction. This can be made in a factory and just transported to the site, and they can just start with the process of using it, and it can really be very efficient if planned properly. In this case of crisis, it can be really very powerful. So the name of the project is Cura, which is the Latin for cure, and it is converting shipping containers into plug-in intensive care pods to fight the coronavirus. Cura, a ready-to-use solution, consists of rapidly mounted, easily movable and safe units. The modules can be interconnected with an inflatable structure, creating different configurations. Actually, some pods can be placed in proximity to the hospital to expand the ICU capacity, while others could be used to create self-standing field hospital of varying sizes. So that is what can be played with. We can really play with the form, with the layout, by using inflatable connections and configurations. So it can be either concentric or segregated apart. So we can really design a hospitable space which can be in a field, or we can link it with the existing hospital in the parking area, or where there are requirements regarding creating such a safe option. So the next project is Terra Maya, and it is a housing unit which is proposed by Mud Architects. And what I got from this project is how we can use technology like drones or aircrafts for transportation of the materials, the construction materials, the construction processes. Like for example, drones can be used to construct the entire project. We don't need a construction worker or many workers in a site working their ass off for a conventional methodology, like a conventional fixing and conventional architecture. So they have sprayed the material which has hardened the fabric, creating a solid architectural piece which can help house migrants or individuals who are segregated on not having a dwelling space and not having a safe area to stay. So this can create social distance, maintain a hygienic area, and this can really be very helpful for those people. And this is really a very decent project. I really liked uh, how its look and feel creates a very modern. It is using conventional things. It is using the traditional materials and creating something modern out of it. So this looks really very interesting. Let's go a little bit deeper into it. The mud house. So by utilizing strictly local raw materials, the Terramaya prototype intends to provide a vision of the future by combining skills from the respective studios that form the pluridisciplinary team. The project steps away from the traditional building processes and lengthy construction periods to envision how we can create housing that is not only more sustainable but also more cost effective. So this project is really very interesting, and they have used raw materials. So let's get into the material which they have used for the spraying method. So they used drone spraying house prototype using a combination of drone spraying and drone blowing and drone lifting. So entire thing which was done was the entire thing was done by a drone, and the team utilizes local raw materials such as mud and bamboo to form the series of earthen shells. The bamboo was sourced in a forest 20 km from Milan, while the sand and clays were excavated and collected from the city's suburbs. This is a really interesting project. This gives hope to the people that sustainable architecture and traditional methods can be evolved with technology or fused with technology to create new outcomes. And was one example of it, and which is very interesting. So guys, thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, leave your comments, suggest topics you guys would like us to make a video on in future, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.